Okay, so something interesting happens today. Today is the first day of the trial on Donald Trump. Well, I guess actually it would be the second day, technically. However, the first day they did only vote on whether or not the trial, whether or not the Senate actually has power to commence the trial. Trump's lawyers made the argument that, well, he's not in the actual White House anymore. He's not actually president anymore. Therefore, the Senate can't do anything. The Senate voted against that. Mitt Romney was one of 6 Republicans that joined the Democrats in that vote. It was 56 to 44. So the trial is continuing today at 12 noon. In Washington, D.C., the trial will begin. Each side has 16 hours to make their case. A maximum of 16 hours. They don't need to use all of it, but they will use all of it, which means this is going to be a 2-day long trial. So for those of you who don't know how the impeachment process works, it goes a little bit like this. So the House has to charge and convict Trump of those crimes, and then the Senate has to decide whether or not to sentence him with those. Sentence him with, removal from office, not being able to hold office again. Well, for now, this specific trial obviously would only be for the purpose of him never holding office again, as opposed to removing him since he, already is gone. The Senate, obviously, this is going to be a long trial, 16 hours on each side. That's 32 hours in total. 32 hours in total. Now, Trump technically has not been convicted with regards to the president, and this is the only time that this is like this. This is the only person on the planet or person in the country, I guess, that is treated this way is the president of the United States. They need to be sentenced to be removed from office in order for them to actually be convicted. Now, Trump's lawyers were making the argument that because he's outside of office, you can't charge him anymore. Because, it does say in the Constitution that for a president that is in office. However, because the impeachment trial started while he was in office, Senate is allowing that to continue. So what does it mean if Trump actually does get convicted? He can't get removed from office. Obviously, said that he'll never be able to hold office again. Well, this also means that, he could be charged with these things after he gets sentenced by the Senate for these high crimes and misdemeanors. Do I think he's actually going to get sentenced? No, I don't. It hurts that is the response to that question, but I find it really difficult to believe that the Republican Party will just let that happen. Trump essentially has become the Republican Party at this point. We all knew that the Republican Party was full of racist, bigoted, sexist pricks, but, the fact that Trump is the leader of that party really shows just how bad the Republican Party was. People say, yeah, the Republican Party used to be civilized, used to have principles, but, 80% of the Republican Party supports Trump? So, in reality, let's be honest here, all of them are racist or sexist or both or something else. There are dozens of reasons, I guess. None of them are good, but it is what it is. The fact that Trump's lawyers tried to make this case for him that he left office, therefore he shouldn't be tried in the Senate, that is absolutely ridiculous. If you get convicted of a crime as a felon and you're awaiting your sentencing, if a month passes and do you just let it go? Do you not sentence him? Does he not have the sentencing trial? No, he still has the trial. I don't understand how that doesn't. Well, I mean, obviously it does work for the president. The Senate has just decided that now. But the fact that they were making that argument really, really hurts my brain. It's just the amount of stupidity and garbage these guys peddle constantly is just absolutely mind-boggling to me. I mean, I don't know. It's just completely ridiculous to me that anybody could vote against the resolution to continue the trial. Obviously, people did. So I mean, there's not really much anyone can do about it. However, I mean, it's a good thing that vote went through, that the trial will continue. But one more thing that the Trump's lawyers did do is they said that the House decided not to pass it on to the Senate until afterwards, when, in reality, they did, and it was Mitch McConnell's fault. It was the Republicans' fault. See, it passed in the House while Trump was still president, but Mitch McConnell decided not to use his power to bring the Senate back in session to do the trial. So it's his fault that Trump is out of office before this impeachment trial started. And by the way, Mitch McConnell was one of the people that voted against continuing the trial. If that doesn't seem like a conflict of interest to you, then I really don't know what is, or not a conflict of interest, deliberate attempt to uproot the trial. I mean, he knew that this was going to happen. He knew that this was the argument that was going to be made, and he knew that as long as the Republican voters agree that Trump should not be impeached, then the Republicans can and will vote against Trump being removed. So, I mean, look, it's just ridiculous to me that any of this type of shit can happen. Like, the Republican Party is so far up their own ass that they can't even see what's happening in front of their very eyes. The Republican voters are so goddamn dumb that they can't use their own thoughts and listen to people that know what they're talking about. They're too dumb to read the evidence and see what happened, as opposed to just listening to this one magical person who somehow just knows everything and all of the experts are wrong and only Trump knows it and Trump knows everything and Trump is a god. They treat him like he is a literal god, man. They literally treat him like he's a god. They listen to everything he says and takes everything he says at face value without doing their own research. And if they do their own research, it's not actual research. It's quote unquote, I'm doing air quotes with my hands right here, research that was done by people just like them who are just putting out random numbers without doing any actual studies, or they picked up a study that was refuted by the scientific community or stepped back on by the person that did the study themselves, just like the anti-vax people. It's a perfect example. The anti-vax people love bringing up one specific study about finding mercury in vaccines, and almost every single doctor that signed that, they went back on that, took their names off the study, and the person who was in charge of the study got his license revoked. And they still don't listen. That is exactly what I'm talking about when I say these people, when I say these conservatives, these Republicans, these racist Republicans, that's who I'm talking about. And these people are everywhere. They're all over the country. And the fact that their racism can trump all of their common sense really hurts my brain. The fact that they can just blame everything on black people and immigrants and Muslims and then take no responsibility for the problems in the U.S. hurts my brain, because if you just blame someone else, you'll never fix the actual problem. How about instead of blaming someone else, you own up to the fact that you're a racist prick and try to figure out a solution to it yourself? How about you do that? How about instead of blaming black people and brown people and Muslims, you just fix the goddamn problem you have by listening to the leftists that have the solutions. Leftists have had solutions for the problems in this country For centuries, Karl Marx had the solutions to these problems in the frickin' 1870s, dude. Das Kapital explains the exact issue with capitalism in the US, and he's very right. He's not wrong. He's very accurately depicts the issues in the US, and not just in the US, but the issues with capitalism in general. There are problems in the US. US is not a perfect country, but make America great again? When was America great? When it was racist? When Jim Crow laws existed? Or was it when Reagan was in charge? When we let gay people die because AIDS was a gay thing instead of a regular person thing? How about when 1960s, when Martin Luther King got assassinated? Is that when America was great? When exactly was America great, Mr. Trump? When was America better than it was under the Obama administration? Because I honestly can't think of a time, because there isn't a time. America is the best it has been right now, and it's still behind every other Western country in the world. France, Canada. I mean, God damn it, I live in Canada right now, but are you seriously telling me that universal healthcare can work in Canada but won't work in the United States? How loser of a nation do you think you need to be to have literally 10 times the population of a country and still not be able to do what they can do? What about France? Do you seriously think that the US is so incompetent that it can't do what France does with their universal healthcare? Holy shit, dude. And, I know that this got off track a little bit. I'm supposed to be talking about the impeachment trial, and it really is a big deal. But, I mean, people just need to wake up to this. People need to stop just believing everything they hear on Facebook and listen to the experts, because you're not an expert. There's no such thing. You know, as they say, everyone's an expert now. No one's an expert now. That's what that means. Everyone thinks they're an expert, and it just creates what's it called? It's the Dunning-Kruger effect, I think. When you have a small amount of knowledge, but you think you know everything, when in reality you don't know much at all. Your confidence level is always highest when you have a little bit of information, but no experience in the actual field. Okay, that's gonna do it for this one. I know I got a bit ranty there at the end, but I don't care. I want to rant, so. Yeah, Trump impeachment's happening starting at 12 noon today. If you liked this video, hit it with a like. If you didn't, hit it with a dislike. And I'll see you guys in the next one.